Hello there. It's been a while since I posted a long-form video, but this is a special occasion that calls for the world of landscape. I'm Musetta, and I want to welcome you to the 100 subscriber Q&A video. In a short, I asked for your questions about me, the characters, and the lore. So in this video, I will be answering your questions. So without further ado, let's get started. The first question comes from Indigo Andy, who says, "Oh my god, love your art style. Question, if you had to choose, which character is your favorite?" Well, first of all, thank you. It means a lot that you like my art style. Secondly, which character is my favorite depends on what the topic is. By design, my favorite character is QNA, because the dark purples and grays with small pops of dark brown, and the contrast it provides to her pale skin and golden eyes just makes this design really beautiful in my opinion. It could also be a bit of nostalgia since when I went back and redesigned all my characters, Nathara was the first character that I redesigned. By lore, my favorite is Prima Turnbull. Her past is shrouded in mystery, and she was Piper's past lover before she died for reasons that Piper didn't know about. Her explanation to Piper of what happened and why it had to happen is also super vague, making her that much more interesting. She leaves Piper feeling lost and lonely, blaming herself for the death of Prima. My favorite pairing is Zeta Nile and Afreen Kala. These two are just the cutest little things I've ever seen, and it has some of my favorite tropes, being short and angry, Afreen, X tall and calm, Zeta. Bonus is they have a really nice backstory, having run into each other on a mission. Zeta, working as a spy, is looking for where the Fae live to report back to her people. And Afreen, working as an assassin for the Fae, is hunting for the person who is trying to spy on them. They fall head over heels for each other and leave their jobs to be together. And their color scheme goes together beautifully. Overall, though, I love Piper Kaladin. Her simple yet powerful design, her always trying to look emotionless, and just following orders, especially after Prima died. Her backstory with Prima being the general of Sahardia after her parents died. It all just blends together to make a beautiful character, though I may be a bit biased since she is the main character. The second question comes from Tinny Alien, I think I said that right, who asks, for every single character, what is their biggest regret? Well, since this is going to be a book and there's a lot of characters, some will be very vague or just skipped over. Piper Kaladin's biggest regret is not being there for Prima. Anika Coles is not spending more time with her family. Asira Keller's is her past. Afreen Kala's is killing innocent people. Zeta Niles is working as a spy against people who she wasn't even sure existed. Asher Gray's is having to leave behind their brother. Prima Turnbull is never telling Piper the truth. Nathara Kenna's is trusting Erich. Alfonso Keller's is not being there for his older sister. And Damon Hall's is running away from home. This next question comes from Aubrey Shively. Who's your least favorite character? Well, like the first question, this is a complicated answer. By design, it's Alfonso Keller. It feels super basic for some reason, despite it being very similar to Asira Keller's design. I also don't like the brighter greens I chose to use for him because I feel like it clashes with his pants. Lore-wise, I think I'd have to pick an Izias Ball. This is because I feel his character arc is just missing something, but I can't figure out what that something is. I feel he needs more fleshing out, and I'm still trying to figure out what exactly he needs to be a better character. My least favorite pairing is probably Piper Kaladin and Nolan Spark. At one point while writing, Piper was intended to have a crush on Nolan and later be devastated by him getting captured. But that plot point came out of nowhere, and I had already decided that Piper would get with Anika Cole. So I scrapped the plot point and made Piper a lesbian. Overall, my least favorite character? Nolan. It's Nolan Spark. Congratulations, Nolan Spark. I don't like you. I don't know why I have such a hatred for Nolan. I love his design and his lore, but for some reason, I still don't like him. I think that may be due to who he was based on, kept demanding for me to make Nolan a cyborg. So I eventually caved and gave Nolan a cyborg arm, but that just didn't make sense in the context of the story, so I changed it. So that he has electricity powers and has a brace on his bad arm with metal bits that he uses his magic to be able to control that arm. which I like much better than the cyborg arm. But that interaction left me with an undying hatred for this character, and I'm not completely sure why, except poor Nolan suffers because of it. This one comes from IDK Art, asking, why did you decide to start writing a story? Well, I've always had a love for reading, and eventually, around the 4th grade, that evolved into a passion for writing as well. Over the years, I've tried making many books. One's based on Wings of Fire or about dragons. At one point, I even tried writing a mystery book. But none of them ever got stuck or got finished, so they sit collecting dust in my Google Drive. Eventually, though, one did stick. This story was called The War's Curse. I started writing in this tiny dragon notebook that I had while I was bored one day, and the main character was named something like Clarice. Eventually, this character evolved into the Piper Kaladin I know today. We own the blah blah. Clarice also had a sidekick whose name I can't remember, and it somehow spiraled into a lesbian story very quickly. There were also a few other characters' names I can't remember. The sidekick evolved into Anika Cole, and the other characters evolved into a Sierra Keller, a Freen Collins, Zeta Nile. At first, especially in the first draft of the book, I just wanted to tell a story about stopping a war for the fun of it, since I'd always dreamed of doing something like this. Later, though, it evolved, and a message behind the book found its home and revealed itself to me. I realized that the message is about standing up for what is right and what you believe in, speaking out against injustice while also sending the message that you should never be ashamed of who you are or change who you are for anybody. A message I feel my younger self needed before I fully figured out who I am. So now the message also reminds others who might be like how I was that there is no reason you should be scared to show who you are and that you shouldn't change for anybody unless it's for you. This next one is an older series of questions from IDK Art, originating from the first time I tried doing a Q&A, and they were the only person with questions. First, will you do any videos introducing the characters and their roles in the story? 2, if you had to describe a character with one word, what would it be? 3, do you have any specific things you hope to do with this channel? And 4, will you ever do a sketchbook/digital art tour? Okay, so for the first question about videos introducing the characters, I would love to make that a series. It'll probably be pretty similar to my Creatures of Zir series I did a while back, where I talked about the animals as I designed them. But I would be interested in doing that if that's something you all would like to see. I could have the background of a collection of drawings of them or something. 2, I'm choosing to describe Prima Turnbull in one word, and that word is dead. She is dead. Okay. 3, what this channel was made for and has been for since the beginning is to get people interested in reading my book for when it hopefully comes out, and so that people are already invested in some of the characters while I also get to show off some of my artwork and edits. 4, will I ever do a sketchbook tour? I'd love to do that sometime if that is something you all are interested in seeing from me. I can show early art from the book and some of my random doodles from when I was first starting out doing art. And that's all the questions. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I truly want to thank you all again from the very bottom of my heart for 100 subscribers. It truly is amazing that I was able to hit this milestone. It wouldn't have been possible without you all. I hope you keep enjoying my content and supporting this journey in my writing, and hopefully getting it published one day.